does what she wants, and she looks cool doing it.
Welcome back to the channel. Right now we are in Erewhon, which is in LA. Erewhon's the most expensive grocery store pretty much out there. Everything's crazy expensive. So we're gonna get my favorite stuff, even supplements, whatever it may be. And then we're gonna go home and try it out. Alright guys. Oh my god, that's like really heavy. The Haley Beaver smoothie. Oh my god. This is really good. We got this expensive, what's it called? Nitro water? Hydro, good, right? $37, yay! All of this costs $233.
You just watched some social media posts from Trump's granddaughter, Kai Trump, the daughter of Trump Jr., who is definitely not a cokehead, by the way.
Luckily, I don't snort cocaine, like it's not my thing.
Sure. Now, I can't tell you when she posted the selfie with military planes because that was seemingly deleted. If so, good choice. But the vlog that you saw was actually titled, I'm not joking, I Brought My Secret Service to Erewhon, and that was published to YouTube on March 8th, which was a week after her granddad double-tapped a school that killed 180 Iranian girls younger than her, and on the same day that people in Tehran, a city of 10 million, were experiencing black rain, an unthinkable ecological disaster that'll have devastating health consequences for decades to come. But that was obvious and the intended outcome of them bombing Iran's oil refineries, which is a war crime, by the way. But while the people of Iran were being killed and maimed by her granddad, she was taste testing Haley Bieber's $21 smoothie. Yeah, and if that wasn't tone deaf enough, she was bragging about gallivanting around with Secret Service on the taxpayer's dime, all so she could taste test expensive things that the peasants could never ever afford. Great look. And that's especially insulting because, as Axios reports, the cost of products and services are going to surge as a direct result of her war criminal grandfather's illegal war with Iran. And she's clearly not self-aware enough to consider how this vlog might not be a good look right now, but her commenters pointed out the obvious thing to her, which was that, hey man, maybe this isn't in the best taste right now. Here's some examples. Dude, we need to eat the rich for real. Please join the draft for grandpa. Probably one of the most out-of-touch video titles ever. Title might be the most tone-deaf thing I've ever read, like legit Lamau. Hop in a chopper with your Uncle Barron and go defend our freedom. Let them eat cake, but actually, grandpa is in the files. Worry about that. I love that my taxes are funding this instead of school lunches. I see the dumb doesn't fall far from the tree at all. Did you know grandpa cut food stamps for tens of millions of Americans? When are you going to enlist in grandpa's war of distraction? Definition of can have all the money in the world but have zero common sense. You should be drafted. Wow, I really need to enlist my kids to fight for Israel to help support Kai at all costs. Most Americans can barely afford regular groceries, by the way. Thanks to my taxes, you can get a better life than most of us can't. And that's just a small sample, but people on Twitter also had some thoughts about her vlog after she decided to share it there. Bad decision. It genuinely sometimes feels like they're trying to usher in a French Revolution. Our tax dollars are going towards her bringing Secret Service agents to vlog at Erewhon buying overpriced groceries. Meanwhile, her pedo grandpa is raising prices so people can't buy homes, groceries, and now gas. We are living in the Hunger Games. You should enlist. And again, that's a very small sample of what they had to say about her. But Twitter wasn't done with her ass yet, because in response to her selfie in front of warplanes, people gave her the Barron treatment, saying, draft her ass too, I don't give a fuck. Send Kai to fight for Israel. She's old enough to be on the front line. She shouldn't be at the club. She should be deployed. Send her to the front lines with Barron. And on a different note, this person says everything is a joke, a meme, or a reality show to them. Real people are dying due to this administration's decisions. Exactly, but this is something that they never consider because the Trump family has been taught to never think about anybody but themselves ever. But the reason why her and Barron are taking so much heat right now is obviously because they're the same age as the non-privileged Americans who are being sent to die for Israel in Iran. But if Trump is willing to sacrifice your kids for his war, don't you think it's fair that he is ready to sacrifice his own as well? I mean, I think so, and a lot of other people seem to agree, which is why they're saying that Barron should be sent to the front lines as well. In fact, Toby Morton, a comedian and writer for South Park, actually launched this website calling for Barron to be drafted because, if reports are true about Trump privately considering boots on the ground, well, he should have some skin in the game if this is really a worthwhile cause to die for, like he says it is. Not to mention, there's apparently a need for service members right now, seeing as how Caroline Livet wasn't even willing to rule out a military draft. You heard that right. She's not willing to take a military draft off the table. Here, straight from the horse's mouth.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
So since he's keeping all options on the table, including boots on the ground and even a military draft, does that mean that Barron and Kai are also going to qualify for the draft as well? I mean, why would Trump want to exempt his own flesh and blood if this war is so important? Yeah, of course they're not going to qualify for the draft, because when Trump talks about how brave Americans are making the ultimate sacrifice and that it's worthwhile for them to make the ultimate sacrifice, he's talking about your sons and daughters making the ultimate sacrifice. And before he gets them killed, he's going to try to get them to commit war crimes and crimes against humanity, all at the behest of Israel. And so you forget about the Epstein files, where he's accused of assault and the attempted rape of a minor. And if this war was an attempt to make you forget about that, then mission accomplished, because search results for Epstein have gone way down since this war began for obvious reasons. But his reasoning for starting a war with Iran is irrelevant at this point, because, like it or not, that's where we're at. You can say that Israel goaded him into a war with Iran. You could say that he's surrounded by neocons like Lindsey Graham who fed him bad information. It doesn't matter. The buck stops with him. And now we are at war with Iran. And more than 1,000 Iranians have been murdered, including hundreds of children. Lives that will never get back. And you want your kids to be the ones to risk their lives to commit those atrocities against the Iranian people who pose no threat to us, all while his children and grandchildren are treated like fucking royalty. And look, I think that people would be less hard on Barron and Kai if they actually spoke out against their corrupt, war criminal, alleged pedophile father and grandfather in the same way that Elon Musk's daughter Vivian speaks out against him. Vivian makes it very clear that she wants nothing to do with her father and doesn't want a single penny from him, even though he's the richest man in the world. If Barron and Kai were as principled as Vivian, I think that people would actually respect them, but that's clearly not the case. Barron helped his father get elected by getting him in contact with popular streamers like Logan Paul and Aiden Ross, and Kai Trump is using her grandfather's presidency to catapult herself into a career as a social media influencer. She proudly posts pictures of her and her grandfather out of his drag makeup, which is actually really jarring to look at, and she's also given us exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at what it's like to be the granddaughter of President Neck Pussy.
So now we're gonna go down right now to watch my grandpa get sworn in. We'll see how much we can film. Obviously, it's like very private right now, so yeah, we gotta go.
Another famous one, how about Ty? Stand up.
So in this clip, when he's doing his speech after getting sworn in, it's so funny because he goes, what about this famous one? And then it's like, he's like, what about Kai? And I'm like waving and everything like that. That was really, really funny.
Oh, was it? Was it actually really funny when he asked you to wave, Kai? Really? I'm sure it was. You know, that demented war criminal, he's such a hoot. The entire crowd was probably busting a gut when he said that she was famous and asked her to stand up so she could wave. Oh, hilarious. So fucking funny, but there's more riveting commentary from her.
Like, I was a little nervous to like stand up and wave. I don't know. I'm just like, I was embarrassed, but like, it's just like kind of nerve-wracking. Especially like all that stuff is on, obviously on television and whatnot.
Yeah, well, you should be embarrassed, because if my grandfather was a rapist who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein and accused of pedophilia, I know that I would be embarrassed. But, you know, you can just tell that she really has a knack for being a social media influencer, and her growth is totally organic because she's super talented, guys. You know, I'm sure that she would unquestionably have as many followers if her granddaddy was some middle manager at a Taco Bell. But you know what? I'm actually glad that she's posting these tone-deaf ass videos because there's still a lot of Americans that have deluded themselves into thinking that Trump cares about them. Like, they actually believe this, unironically. Like, I have family members who think this, when that's so obvious that it's impossible to conceive of anybody thinking that that's the case. But I mean, as brazen as they are, some people just, they need the reality to get much worse for them. They need to be more in your face for them to take the hint that this entire family doesn't give a fuck about you and they're just using you for personal gain. But I mean, if you still can't see that they don't care about anybody but themselves, then maybe you deserve to be taken advantage of.
When you acting like a beta, 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 beta.